Hi, everybody. Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And I want to talk a little bit tonight about what's going on in terms of our food supply. And I go to the grocery store and I can pretty much get whatever I want. We don't have gaping shortages. There are some things that aren't available, and you might not be able to buy 5 pounds. You can only buy 1 pound. But things are getting so expensive. That's another thing that's going on. But I can see why a lot of you out there are saying, hey, it's not as bad as all these people are saying. I mean, everything's going up in price, but it's going to come down eventually. We know that. It always does. Well, I want to bring you some of the headlines here, and just mainly in terms of food, nothing else. And I want you to draw your own conclusions. If you think food prices are going to come down, and if you think we're going to have food in the United States, or are we going to have scarcity? If you look at the other countries, you know that they're having food problems right now. Are we? You have to draw your own conclusions. I can only give you the information. So let's go look at a few of the headlines and you can make your own decision. I just want to run over some headlines here for you. This is the end of the American dream. Much of the Southwest is turning into Death Valley as Dust Bowl conditions return and water resources dry up. And here's a map with some of the drought conditions. And you can see there's a lot. And even in the Northeast now, there's some drought. And I'm not going to read all this. You can come over and read it for yourself. But I did want to mention a Kansas farmer said this time of year, the wheat growing in this part of western Kansas should be thigh-high and lush green. But as a months-long drought continues to parch the region, many fields tell a different story. There's nothing out there. It's dead. It's just ankle-high straw. So we have this. And then if we go over here from Yahoo Finance, inflation. Consumers are reacting to high food prices, says grocer. And they're talking here about how high the prices are. And the company he owns runs 14 grocery stores, 9 restaurants, and 8 liquor shops. And he's seeing customers buy fewer number of goods. Units are moving down. And grocery stores aim at moving a higher number of units of food out the door in order to make room for fresher merchandise. Consumers are trading down to lower priced items and generic brands. And that's all well and good, but what happens when the lower priced items and the generic brands go up in price and you can't even afford those? They're pushing back against luxury foods. And he says people aren't splurging on lobster and crabs that they might have in the past. So here's a list of the items that have gone up, where inflation is over the last 12 months. I think this is a little low. I really think we have a lot higher inflation than this chart indicates. And then if we look here, this is from Zero Hedge. People are now resorting to microloans to afford groceries and gas. Cash-strapped Americans are using microloans to afford gas and groceries. And this was interesting. It's a Swedish company whose bread and butter has been loans for smartphones and other consumer electronics. And they've seen a flood of applications for staples now, such as food and gas. They provide interest-free loans that allow people to spread payments over multiple installments and makes money charging retailers a small per-transaction fee and from interest on longer-term loans. So we have this company that's making loans now to people who just need gas and groceries. UN claims hunger is necessary as governments intentionally cause poverty on a global scale. This is from Food Inflation News. And this is strangesounds.org. As mega droughts shrivel Lake Powell. We've been hearing about Lake Mead, but Lake Powell here. Millions face catastrophic power crisis as soon as July 2023. And I know I was going to talk a little bit about food, but this is even with the power crisis here, they're going to be stopping water to the farmers and to everybody downstream. And he says it's fallen lower than even the lowest end of the scale thought possible when the dam was constructed. Its driest period for more than 12 centuries. Lake Powell is a major source of hydropower, produces cheap and clean energy for 5.8 million homes and businesses across 7 states. But now, because of the dwindling water levels, it's now at 28% of their acre-feet capacity, and it's put the Glen Canyon Dam at risk. If the lake drops another 32 feet, the dam will no longer be able to generate power for millions who rely on it. The rapid decline of Lake Powell has been surprising. There's no doubt we are heading towards a drier future, and now they have to conserve water, and that means that the farmers and the people who need it won't be getting it as they're trying to conserve it. That would be the largest cut in water use in a 100-year history of the Colorado River Compact. And it's many states here: Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, California, Nevada, 30 tribal nations, and Mexico. It's huge. Cutbacks could represent up to a third of water use in the entire basin. So if you think there's a problem now with growing food, think what's going to happen when you're cutting all this water off. And if you go to Ag Facts, they're saying Arkansas rice lack of rain will bring some tough choices. So they're having trouble growing rice there. And again, Ag Facts. And if you just skim through here, you can see Arkansas rice, lack of rain, California walnuts, managing mold, California walnuts, mid to late season drought strategy, crop conditions slip despite variable rains, Kentucky soybeans, grasshoppers could be a problem if the drought persists. So you can go through here and see what's happening with all of these food crops. And one other thing I just wanted to look at real fast. This is 5 things you should start doing immediately to prepare for the severe recession that is ahead. And the 5 things are, and let me tell you, this is from the endoftheamericandream.com. Make sure you have a source of income. So make sure if your job isn't secure, maybe you can figure out how to get a second job or do some work from home. I did a video once on some work from home, work on the internet type of things you could do. Build up your emergency fund. Get out of debt. That's really important. Stock up on essentials now. I keep telling you that over and over again. And maintain a positive attitude. Yes, bad things are going to happen, but we need to believe we can make it through whatever challenges we're going to face. So that's it for today. I just thought we'd look at some headlines and try to figure out connecting the dots. It's up to you to connect the dots and decide what you're going to do. Is there really a problem out there, or is it all just made up and hype to get people to watch videos and to buy prepper things? Or is it really there? And should you be stocking up on essentials as much as you can? Thanks for watching, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.